and the boldness that you gain after speaking affirmations over yourself. The more you hear it, the more you believe that it's true.
And welcome to Premier Fitness. I'm Gene Williams, your yoga instructor, and I'm here to tell you about the benefits of yoga.
Hey. Thank you for joining us and welcome to Where is the Love? I am your host. I am Stephne Hockenhull, and joining me is my co-host, my son, Gene Williams.
Hey, peace and love. How you doing, Mom?
Good. How are you?
Good to be sitting down now.
After a hard day's work, huh?
Man, listen. Healing is hard work.
Yeah. Okay, so we on our show we talk about bullying versus love, and we have been talking about the narcissistic person with the narcissistic personality disorder for quite a while now. It's been a few months. We're wrapping it up pretty quick. So probably next week will be our last week of talking about the narcissistic bully. And I hear feedback. Gene, do you hear feedback?
I don't.
Okay. So hopefully it comes out better than it's sounding on my end. I just hear me repeating in my own ears.
That's interesting. Okay.
So if you are here, I ask you to share your Facebook pages so that other people can join in on the discussion, or so that they can hear what we are talking about, our discussion about the narcissist. You can catch us live on Roku and on Amazon Fire while we are doing the show. And so while we're doing the show, just search TV Live, POD TV LIVE. And Pod TV is all one word. So you can watch us live on TV. You just won't be able to join in on the discussion. You can join in on the discussion by joining us on Facebook, Love Misunderstood Institute, or on our YouTube channels, Love Misunderstood Institute and Premier Fitness 0210. So those are all the ways you can catch this show and hear our discussion. And so welcome. So we always do a recap of last week's show before we start our discussion for the show today.
Right.
So Gene, would you do the recap?
Yeah, for sure. All right, so episode 25, we talked about narcissistic supply. So narcissistic supply is a pathological or excessive need for attention or admiration from codependents. Now, if you want to know more, go back to episode 25. 5. Can you see on my hand? 5. There we go. To learn more and hear that discussion for yourself. Check it out.
All right. Today we are talking about gray rocking. So this is something that a narcissist we need to do to a narcissist in order to get them off of our back, basically. So Gene, would you start that?
For sure. All right. So again, we're talking about the gray rocking method. So when dealing with toxic people in both life and the workplace, becoming like a gray rock is exactly what you want to do. Gray rocking is a effective strategy that helps you reduce unwanted focus from negative or challenging individuals. You do this by not responding to their toxic behavior when you're around them. Toxic people feed on your reaction.
Yeah.
A narcissistic coworker, for example, feeds on conflict, drama, and attention. By making yourself and your interactions with them as neutral as possible, they will eventually lose interest because they're not being fed.
Yeah.
Your lack of response will have them looking for someone else to target and project onto, or ideally give up the damaging behavior. Fingers crossed on that one.
Before you go to the next part, I want to interject something. So, I have been having some experiences with toxic people at work,
Right.
and I don't like the way I feel after dealing with them or being around them.
Right.
So I have had to dismiss myself from their company to keep from hearing negative stuff because it brings me down. And it's so amazing how talking about this now and talking about learning, so much about the narcissist in the last couple months, the things that I've learned and the things that I've started to notice, like
Right.
noticing how I feel after being around a group of toxic people,
Right.
having toxic conversations. And so anyway, I just wanted to say that because toxic people can bring you down,
Yep.
and that is what I have experienced. And so I've just had to not even go around those people. I'm like, oh, I don't like the way I feel, after
Yeah.
that, especially if I engage, and add something to it. Then I'm like, why? No, that is not, I got to stay away from them. Because
Right.
so I
Yeah.
just wanted to add that because it definitely has an effect on you dealing with toxic people and having toxic conversations
Right.
that are of no value and that does not edify you in any way.
Right. And that are 9 times out of 10 meant to cause you to have a negative reaction to feed the narcissist. Like that's, they are ener- energetic vampires. So there's constantly seeking for something to feed them outside of themselves,
Yeah,
as opposed to finding the worthiness and self love enough within themselves to feed themselves.
yeah, yeah. It's been an experience. You can go ahead with the next part.
Yeah. All right. So gray rocking is a technique used to divert a toxic person's behavior by acting as unresponsive as possible when you're interacting with them. For example, using the gray rock method involves deliberate actions like avoiding eye contact or not showing emotion during a conversation.
Yeah,
Know that one well. The for the narcissist in particular that I dealt with, it was the not showing emotions.
yeah,
And what it would do is it would anger the narcissist. And then after they realize that even though you're angry, I'm still going to be the same even keel person.
yeah.
They just never mind. And I'm like, exactly.
Right. How important was that you were trying to do to me? How important was that anyway? I'm showing you it had no value for me.
Right, right.
So that does make them angry because their whole purpose was to draw energy from you and make you
Hmm.
feel negative and toxic and you know.
Right.
So yeah, you want to add anything else?
Yeah. So I did find that that method was very effective. It pissed them off, but after a minute they got it. But with, with certain types of narcissists, those who are not willing to do the work, they will constantly come back and try to
Yeah,
provoke you, and they'll trial and error. Let's see what's going to poke them. Make them react this time. I'm poke them this way, poke them that way, poke them this way, and then after you don't react, they're like, I can't
yeah.
stand you. Thank you. Well, sit me then.
But it made you feel better, didn't it? You didn't go down the rabbit hole they wanted you to go down.
Right. I didn't give up my power. I didn't give up my
Yeah,
personal power.
that's great. That's great. And it's great that you learned a technique,
Yeah.
to basically get them off your back, you know. So and you saw what it did.
Right.
I don't well, never mind, you know,
Mm-hmm.
with anger.
Tired of you. Well, go take a nap then.
Right. Get your rest
Right. There you go.
and wake up with a better attitude. How about that?
Please. Please do. Because if you don't, I'm gonna do the same thing.
Right.
Till it gets
So
into your thick skull.
yeah. So where are we? The gray rock method
Yep.
is okay. The gray rock method is commonly practiced when dealing with narcissists. These are people that strive for attention, have a strong desire to be admired by others, and have difficulty enduring criticism or setbacks. They are commonly conceited, scheming, and controlling of others. Having a narcissist as a family member, co worker, friend, or romantic partner is an extremely challenging predicament, often including varying degrees of abuse. The gray rock method can be a valid alternative for protecting yourself from narcissistic abuse, as it takes away what the narcissist needs and desires most: attention.
Right.
You want to add something?
Yeah. They want attention and they want a reaction, and that's attention.
Yeah,
So you put yourself in my therapist, she told me to detach, not only emotionally from the entire situation, but after you realize that you're trying to have a conversation with a person who's not willing to open their minds or bend a little bit, then you just disconnect. Listen, um, right now this conversation is not beneficial. I'm not going to argue with you. This is not conducive to anything positive. So I'm going to step out of this conversation, and you and I can discuss this when you and I both are in a calmer state.
yeah,
Now, for a narcissist, it angers them because that takes control out of their hands.
right.
So, but it's a beautiful feeling to be able to step away and genuinely just disconnect.
Yeah,
Um, a lot of the problem that we have is that we get so emotionally attached to people's reactions to us and their
yeah,
actions toward us as if it's personal.
yeah,
Like we discussed before about the narcissist, that although it's personally happening to you, it is not personal.
yeah,
They have their ish that they're not dealing with, and they're projecting it onto you.
right.
So if you keep that in mind, you have a more powerful foundation to start with.
Yeah, that's good. Good information. You want to do the next part?
Yeah, yeah. All right. So the next section is when to try gray rocking. So when someone in your life acts in a way you perceive as toxic, you may choose to distance yourself from them. For instance, say you have a friend who constantly has you walking on eggshells. In this instance, walking away from them is something you might want to consider. Choosing to only surround yourself with people that boost you up will improve your self worth and emotional well being. Gray rocking is a strategy that some mental health professionals recommend to clients who have a toxic person in their life, or also, as I stated before, detachment.
Yeah,
The end goal to gray rocking is to maintain boundaries and stop the negative behavior. Gray rocking should always be a short term response to irritating and manipulative behaviors. You shouldn't have to permanently change who you are in order to fit in or feel safe.
yeah,
When it gets to the point where you have to constantly detach, that means that you need to sever ties or exit stage.
yeah.
Can you see
Yes,
the
sir.
trajectory of my movements there?
Ah, all right. How to use the gray rock method. Here are some of the strategies you can use when applying the gray rock method. Number one is what Jean already said: disengage.
Yeah.
The first rule is to disengage yourself. You gain the upper hand by recognizing that when someone says hurtful or inflammatory things about you, it's to control you and get a reaction. Don't react or become defensive. No matter what you actually feel, stay focused on preserving your peace and disengaging from damaging interaction.
Lord, say it, Lord Jesus. Gotta preserve that peace.
And there's nothing better than peace. I was thinking about that today. Um, Peace is so valuable, when you have it.
Yep.
It's so valuable. And so when something comes in to disrupt that peace, it's easy to discount it because you're like, no, I've been in the place of peace for a long time now. And that's not going away. You got to
Right.
go away with your stuff. So goodbye.
Yep. And that's actually what the meaning of my song "Won't Let You Take It From Me" is about. It's
Yeah.
about finally, after all the chaos of life, finding that peace of mind and refusing to allow anyone to take that peace of mind from
Yeah.
you, even yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was laughing because Mark said those crazy narcissists, are they giving you the Holy Ghost again?
Yes, yes, Lord. Oh, Lord. Hey!
You so doggone silly. Ah, yeah, for a long time I didn't know how to obtain peace. But then once I learned how to obtain peace, the different ways to obtain peace, now it's hard for anybody to get in and disrupt, even like I was talking about, the people at work. So I can see when, this is not a peaceful situation, it's not a peaceful conversation. I need to get away from this because
Yep,
I feel drained and horrible. I just feel dirty, after a
anxious.
conversation with toxic people. Um, and anyway, so peace, I value peace. You want to add something else?
No, I was going to say, not only does it make you feel drained, but it makes you feel anxious, which adds to that. You're constantly like, I don't know. You just always on eggshells, always feeling so defensive, and
Yeah,
that's exhausting. Like you're not
yeah,
supposed to live like that. We're not meant for that.
yeah. That's very
So
true. Very
yeah,
true. So the next part is stay distracted. If the person escalates their attempts to engage you by saying cruel or hurtful things, it can be difficult not to defend yourself when you feel attacked. But ultimately, you'll minimize the damage by not engaging.
yeah,
That's so important. You have to decide, do I want this that they're giving or do I want peace? Um, so stay distracted. So you don't have to defend yourself if you know what they're saying is not the truth. You don't have to defend yourself. Just don't even find something to do to distract you.
right.
Focusing on something on the wall or something on TV or reading or anything to distract yourself to keep from engaging in what they're doing. Because
Yeah.
what were you going to say?
I was going to say the stronger the narcissistic tendency within the narc themselves, the more likely they are to say the most vile, disrespectful things to you to get a reaction out of you because they know if I say that, if I go here, they're gonna lose it. So they will say the most vile things to you, and then afterward act like it did not happen,
Yeah. Or it was your
or
fault because it happened.
give you some. I'm trying to think of a nice word to say. Pseudo apology, just to shut you up. But
Yeah.
I didn't mean what I said. But once you say certain things, they don't go away. No matter how you can forgive them, but
Yeah.
you'll never forget.
Yeah.
That's why it's imperative that you watch the words that you speak to people
Mhm.
and to yourself,
Yeah.
because it's you can forgive a person and still like that rings in the back of your head what they said. So anytime you start to feel close to them, yeah, I feel close to you, but you remember you said that though.
Yeah.
I don't quite trust you, so you always. I got to the point. I'm just gonna say it like this. I got to the point in my relationship, in the formal relationship, where I didn't trust her with my heart and my emotions anymore.
Yeah.
Like anytime things didn't go her way, things went hard left.
Yeah.
and fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just pay attention to those red flags. You see a person saying and doing things intentionally to upset you, to get a reaction, it's time to go. Ain't no
Yeah.
time to talk. Ain't no time to try to work it out. If it's a romantic relationship, it's time to go. If it's
Yeah.
someone you work with, find some way to separate yourself. Focus on
Yeah.
your job. Stay distracted.
Yeah.
If it's a child of yours, you got to check them. You
Yeah.
got to be the one to guide them in the way to act.
Right.
If you don't, they're going to become a big nuisance to the world around them. And some people ain't going to care. And
Yeah.
I had to say it ain't going. They ain't going to care
Yeah.
that this is your child.
Yeah.
Some people have no F's to give.
Right. Yeah.
And that's effing you up.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. And so you're not helping if it's your child, you're not helping them if you're not saying anything, if you're not
Right.
correcting them, if you're not, making them. And we've said this a number of times, specifically you've said it a number of times on a number of shows, holding them accountable. you
Yep.
know that's what it's about, letting them know, that's not right. Don't, I don't agree with that, and I'm not going to agree with stuff that is not right. So,
Right.
if they are mad at you, one day they'll get over it. But you can't just agree and not say anything and then say, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to deal with that or whatever. Helping is by speaking up and making them accountable.
Yep. Mhm.
You want to add something else?
No, and that's how you show genuine love.
Yeah.
A person who genuinely loves you will check you when you're wrong.
Yeah.
If they're being a people pleaser and not telling you about yourself, that's not true love. A
Yeah.
person who truly loves you will tell you, listen, you yours stinks. Okay,
Yeah.
I need you
Yep.
to go clean it up. Go ahead and spray some Febreze in there.
Yep.
It stinks. Get
Yep.
yourself together. I don't know what
Yep.
you ate, but you'll need to eat none of that no more. It stinks.
Go to the next part, please.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So, whenever you can, keep your interactions brief and limited. Your responses should be short and direct because they will try to distract you with, well, I didn't understand. Well, try to sway you. I didn't understand what you meant, so I thought this. No, be very short and very direct, very succinct.
Yeah.
You are protecting yourself by avoiding unhealthy behaviors. Use one word answers and focus on boring, mundane topics. Nothing personal because it
Yeah.
opens up a can of worms. I
Yeah.
know it well.
Don't tell them what you are doing. Never reveal to the person that you are using the gray rock method. That's just like when I, reading that just makes me think of, telling a burglar, I'm going away for a week, I'm going on vacation. So
Right.
they can come in and, no, you don't tell the person what you're doing because, if you say I'm gray rocking you, then they might go look it up. What if they don't know what it is? What is gray rocking? Oh, that's what they're doing. So let me find another way to maneuver around what they're doing. So you can't
Yep.
tell the thief you're going to be gone on vacation
Right. Exactly.
so they can come in your house.
Right.
So you want to add something?
No, no, no. You're right. I'm
Okay.
just like, yeah, you definitely can't tell them your methodologies because they will
Yep.
research it and use it against you.
Yep. Yep. Um, the goal of gray rocking is to become an undesired target to the other person. If they know that you're attempting to make yourself seem boring on purpose, they can use this information to further manipulate and control you. That's what we just said.
Yes, Lord.
You can do the next part.
All right. The risks of using the gray rock method. When done well, gray rocking will create distance between you and the other person. Just know this on the front end, but that's the intention.
Yep.
This may be a painful experience. Furthermore, when applied to someone very close to you, gray rocking requires you to suppress your needs for love, validation, and attention. That's a very lonely space to be in, but it's also powerful if you have the right perspective.
Yeah.
Make sure you continue to have healthy outlets in your other relationships to fulfill those needs for you. You can always consult with a counselor or sign up with an online therapy service to get the guidance that only a professional can provide. And so, with that, yeah, it is imperative for you to have we said this before, have a support system. Support systems are supremely important. Also, start doing things again that you did before to make you happy and
Yeah.
discover new things.
Yeah.
Supremely important. If you fulfill yourself, then even as a person who is not a narcissist, you centralize your need for attention and love and validation to within you. You
Yeah.
validate you. So then you only attract people who validate you because of the energy that you put out. But
Yeah.
if you put out the desire and need to be externally validated, then you will always have someone like this who will manipulate and control that situation to their benefit. So we
Yeah.
have to find the power within ourselves to love ourselves and find value with within. The
Very
power
important.
is yours.
Yeah. Mm, that's really good. And so true. You know, in knowing how to love yourself, then it's easy to receive love from somebody else, or to recognize, love when somebody else gives it to you, genuine love. So you want to add something else?
No, no, no.
Okay. So, dealing with relationships characterized by manipulation, gaslighting, and drama can leave you feeling emotionally drained. Using the gray rock method deprives emotionally abusive people of the drama they crave and alleviates you from unhealthy engagements. You want to add something?
No.
Okay. We have, as I said at the beginning of the show, we've been talking about the narcissist and so many different things about the narcissist that we've learned. Um, we've learned um, how they act and how they respond to things and how they treat, how they treat others, and how, they value themselves, and they want everybody around them to value them and to I can't even think of the word, but to make them look good, because the word's
Right.
not coming. So it's all about them, and it's all about them all the time. No
Right.
matter no matter who else is around or what else is going on, it's always about the narcissist, and what's valuable to them, and they want everybody to cater to them. And when you don't, then basically you suffer for not giving them what they want,
Right.
and not doing what they want. And so those are times that they will talk you down and to make you feel like crap and to make you look like crap. So that, by them doing that, that builds them up and make them, more on a pedestal than you. So we have to be very aware of what people are saying and what people are doing to us. And we have a choice in everything that happens to us and around us, by creating boundaries. We've talked about that in past shows. So it's very important, again, to watch what's going on around you, listen, and don't let other people's words tear you down and bring you down. When that happens, then you have to get away from that person and you have to find things to build you back up. That's
Right.
very important, um, so that you are thriving, in this chaotic world, because this
Right.
world and the people in it and society will have you on a chaotic merry-go-round constantly,
Right.
because they don't know what's good, or don't know, don't want to. acknowledge what's good. They just want to tear people down. And so some people just live for that reason, to constantly tear people down and make them feel like they're nothing. Um,
Mm.
so always encourage yourself, find ways to encourage yourself, find ways to build yourself back up. And with that being said, one of the things I want to share, a few of the things that give me peace, and that I find peace in, to build myself back up when I'm torn down. So I read inspirational stuff. I read and study the Bible. I love listening to running water and nature sounds, and I've been doing that a whole lot more in the past few months, um, because it really helps me. It puts my mind more in a peaceful place. It's just peaceful watching the water, and watching different pictures with waterfalls and stuff like that. And I listen to inspirational speakers. I do affirmations. Um, those are a few of the things that I do to, and then sometimes I listen to um, inspirational music or gospel music. Sometimes that's not enough. I go to something else. I might go to R&B, I might go to jazz, something else, until I get to that peaceful place in my mind that I want to get to. So, I might try this one thing today, and then tomorrow I might try that one thing again, and it doesn't help. So then I have
Yeah.
to find the other peaceful thing until I get to the peaceful place in my mind that brings me back. I want to say centered. So Jean, share some things that you do to go to that peaceful place in your mind.
For sure. So through the chaos of life, I use things. I use my creative process. For me, that could be writing a song, writing a poem, um, you know, singing with my band. Also, yoga for me is a big thing. I know that when I'm stressed out and my mind is all over the place, I can get on my yoga mat and spend, you know, an hour, and just I feel like a totally different person on the other end of it.
That's
Um,
good.
so it's consciously like utilizing that energy, the negative energy, to build something positive for myself. You transmute it or change it into something that's going to be beneficial as opposed to destructive.
Yeah.
um Also being around like-minded people, that I can talk to. We can laugh and talk over things and maybe cry about it, then we laugh. You know what I mean, then you figure something else out. It's just there's so many different ways, so many different
Right.
modalities to
Yep.
find that peace. But for me, it's music, anything creative, being around like-minded people. Exercise is great, and things of that sort, and just getting away and being in nature.
Yeah. Yeah. And I agree on the being in nature part, because sometimes you can just go for a walk. Sometimes I do that, just go for a walk, and I listen to the different sounds and look at the different colors of the leaves and look at the different things happening around me as I walk. Um,
Yeah.
and so that is another way of being peaceful.
Yeah.
So
The
go
Tibetan
ahead.
Buddhists would call that moving meditation.
Okay. Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Something else that I've found really peaceful here recently is prophetic journaling. So I ask a question, or I say what I feel, and I write it on paper, and then I listen. And I've been doing that ever since we did.
Sure, with Eliza.
Yeah. So I've been doing it now since September 10th. So
Wow. Yep.
yeah. So looking back at some of the stuff that I've written and the responses that I've gotten has just been amazing. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow. And it's just like writing anything. Like if you're writing a story, and then this used to happen to me a lot when I was going to college. And then I would go back and look at my paper and be like, I wrote that?
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
So for this prophetic journaling, that's like, okay, I see how I was feeling and what I was thinking, and that's the answer.
Right.
Oh man. So it's just so amazing, and I just love it. It's just a part of me now, to make that a part of my day. That's my morning meditation, and
Right.
it's just been wonderful. Um, so I've been upgrading my listening skills,
Yeah. Right.
and it has been wonderful because you can ask questions or talk, but like we said, in the past shows, you can't just transmit, you got to learn how to receive. So I've learned how to receive on a
Right.
daily basis, first thing in the morning, and it has just been wonderful for me.
Right. Yeah, that's
You want
that.
to
It's
add
that
something?
balance that you get from, like, a battery. It has the positive and negative. You have
Yeah,
to have both sides. You have to have the transmitting and the receiving in order for that battery to work.
yeah,
Without both aspects, the battery is nothing.
you're right. Exactly, exactly. So we are going to start talking about hoovering. And then we're gonna come back next week and give you some more information about hoovering. This is something else connected to the narcissist. Um, so we're gonna share a little bit of it today, and then we'll, look at it some more next week. So you want to start?
Start for me. My
Okay.
tablet died for a second. I'm trying to find it.
Okay. So hoovering. You had the courage to get out of an abusive relationship, and you got yourself on the path of recovering and healing. It's been going reasonable under the circumstances, and it might be 2 weeks, 4 months, or more than a year since you've spoken to the narcissistic abusive partner that damaged you in a brutal way. This narcissistic partner disrespected, degraded, confused, and or manipulated you. It was clearly an unhealthy relationship with a few highs and mainly a lot of lows. At first, they idolized you, and this was great. But then, sadly, they started to devalue you and eventually discard you. So
Yep.
you decided and promised to yourself, not anymore and never again.
Yep.
You want to add something?
Yeah, I know that very well. And that's how it started. It's like you are the sun to them when it starts out.
Yeah,
And then uh, eventually, like, they look at you with disgust. And like I said, a few highs and many lows.
yeah,
And when you get it's like what was it we talked about? Where they give you attention and they space it out. What was that called? What was that? You remember
no.
that? It'll come back to me. But they give you a lot of attention and then they
Oh,
drop
love
off.
bombing. Love bombing.
Thank you. Yeah, love
Yeah,
bombing. Yeah. So yeah, it's like they give you lots of love and attention, and then for months on end they give you none, or it's nothing but you know um, malignant, nasty, venomous things that they say and do to you,
yeah,
and then all of a sudden they're cool for a week, if that long,
yeah,
and then it's back down. It's like,
yeah,
whoa,
yeah,
it's crazy,
yeah.
and
That
it makes
is
you.
crazy.
It's great for crazy making. It makes you think, am I crazy?
Yeah, that's what they want you to think. So do the last part.
Okay. All right. So, and then suddenly you get a message from that person. I need you. I'm not doing well, and only you can help me. Being a kind and caring person, you answer without thinking it through. Big mistake.
Yeah,
If someone asks sincerely for help, you help them, right? Well, not dealing with a narcissist. You might become hooked again.
yeah,
That's what they do.
Yep.
This example shows a narcissist attempt to suck you back in to an abusive relationship called Hoovering. And guess what? And when you go back, you think it was bad the first time.
Yeah.
You go back the second time, it's gonna be purity hell. You're on the first level of hell.
Right.
You was up there, had a little bit of AC up there.
Yep.
They gonna pull you all the way down to 3.
Yep.
Ain't no AC, and it's constant torture, and the fire's up here.
Yep. Because they gonna make you suffer because you left. So now you gotta suffer. And you gotta do this and you gotta do that. And I'm gonna make
to prove
you
yourself to me.
Yep.
But you the crazy one, you made me do it.
Right.
You made me do it.
Yep. So we are going to end our show with talking about love. So what is love? So we're going to tell you some of the things that real love is when you know that you are getting real love without question. People are compassionate towards you. They're honest. They're kind. They're humble, meek and gentle towards you. They're patient. They make allowances for your faults. They forgive you. Anybody who offends them, all of that is love, real love.
Yeah.
Patient and kind, calm and peaceful.
Understanding.
Yes.
Flexible.
Yes. Absolutely.
Makes provisions for the other person as well as themselves.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Thoughtful, caring for others more than for themselves. The narcissist only cares about themselves, nobody else. They're not jealous or proud or rude. Doesn't demand to have their own way. Not irritable or easily angered. Happy with the truth. Never give up. Never loses faith. Is always hopeful. Always perseveres. Real love lasts forever. So if you're getting anything other than those things, you're getting treated rude and bad and talked too nasty and talked down to, that's not real love. You can say I love you all day long, but that's not real love.
Right. A person who truly loves you will never tear you down.
Right. Never, ever, ever. So this is the end of our show. We are ending our show early this week, and we will be back next week, next Sunday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to share some more about hoovering with you. We thank you for being with us. Thank you for joining in on the conversation. Thank you for listening. We will see you again next Sunday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. We say bye for now. We send you love, peace, and we send you all the love and joy and happiness that you desire. So thank you for joining our show. This is our time for today. Thank you. Take care. Bye for now.
Know that you're worthy of love.
Right. That's good.
You know what it is, right?
You're so silly. Excuse me. We're done, Mark.
That's when you know you ain't got nothing better to do with your time.